never thought I'd end up in a situation like this, honestly. Laura and I had been together for about 5 years, and I'd always believed we had something real. Sure, we had our fights, mostly about little shit, nothing too serious, but I thought that was normal. She was pretty, smart, confident, and I thought I was the luckiest guy in the world to have her. We got engaged, then married in pretty quick succession. I remember feeling like I was on top of the world, ready to spend forever with her. From the start, Laura was a bit of a bitch, really just a hard woman to please. She was always quick to lie, especially when she was caught in a mistake or trying to cover her ass. She'd spin stories about her day, about her friends, about everything really, just to keep herself looking innocent. Her temper was legendary. She could go from sweet to downright vicious in a heartbeat if she thought you crossed her, which was often. Still, I ignored most of it because I genuinely loved her and thought maybe I was just being overly sensitive. Things started feeling off a few months ago, though. Small stuff at first, but then bigger. She'd start working late more often. Sometimes I'd call her at 9 p.m. and she'd claim she was at the office or with a client, but I'd catch her in little lies here and there. She'd get defensive or blow up at me for doubting her. I kept telling myself it was just work stress or maybe I was just paranoid, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. There was this gut instinct gnawing at me, and I'm pretty good at ignoring things, but it was different. It was persistent. Then last week I noticed her phone, something I'd never paid much attention to before, was always face down on the table or slipped into her purse when I walked into the room. She'd get tense whenever I got near it, and that was weird because, honestly, I don't usually give a shit about her phone. But after a few days of this, I decided to do a little digging. Nothing invasive, just a quick glance when she wasn't looking. I didn't expect anything, really. I thought I'd find some harmless messages, maybe some work emails or nothing at all. What I found instead made my stomach drop to the floor. Hidden in her messages, I saw a string of texts between her and her best man, Mike. The same Mike who stood beside me at the altar, the guy I trusted more than anyone. Their messages weren't just friendly or funny, they were flirtatious, loaded with private jokes and innuendos that made me sick to my stomach. I read things about missing her, wanting to see her again, and even explicit talk about how they'd fucked when I was at work or asleep. I could almost hear her voice, all bitchy and dismissive, lying about everything, spinning stories about how she was just friends with Mike. Yeah, right. It hit me hard, harder than I ever expected. I mean, I knew she had a temper, but I never thought she'd cheat on me at our wedding. Yeah, that's right, our wedding. She cheated right under my nose, right there in plain sight. She was so confident, so cocky about her lies that she thought she could get away with it forever. I didn't confront her just yet. I needed to process this, figure out what to do, but deep down I knew. Everything had changed. I sat on the edge of the bed that night, staring at my phone, feeling numb but also furious. I kept rereading the messages, trying to make sense of it all. How could she do this? How could Laura, my wife, the woman I married, the woman I trusted, be cheating on me with my best man? I kept wondering if I was just stupid for not seeing it earlier, for ignoring all those little signs. Or maybe I just refused to believe she was capable of something so cruel. I remember feeling this cold, sinking sensation in my chest. It wasn't just betrayal. It was like she had torn out my heart and stomped on it. I thought about the wedding day, how happy I was, how she looked so beautiful walking down the aisle. And then I remembered the moments when she was acting weird, her avoiding my eyes, the way she hurried away whenever I tried to talk to her about her late nights. I was blind. I thought I was protecting us, but she was just lying right to my face. The worst part was knowing how she'd lied so convincingly every time I questioned her. She'd swear she was faithful, that she loved me, that I was the only one, but those messages proved otherwise. And the fact that she was so brazen about it. She was cheating on me with my best man, Mike. The guy I'd trusted to be by my side when I married her. It was like a punch to the gut every time I thought about it. How long had this been going on? Did everyone at the wedding know but me? How long has she been playing me for a fool? I decided I couldn't keep quiet anymore. I had to confront her, but I wanted to be ready. I wanted to catch her off guard, to see her face when I told her I knew the truth. I didn't want her lying her way out this time. I felt a mixture of rage, heartbreak, and a strange kind of clarity. I needed to hear her lie again, see her squirm so I could decide what to do next. The next morning, I planned it out. I was going to come home from work early, catch her in the act if I could, or at least get her to admit everything. I had already decided that whatever she said, it was over. I couldn't look at her the same way anymore, not after finding out she was screwing around with my best man, right under my nose. That betrayal was so deep, so disgusting, that I knew I'd never feel the same again. I just didn't know how I was going to handle the aftermath or whether I even wanted to try saving this mess. All I knew was I was done being the fool. As I started packing a few things into a bag, I couldn't help but think about how much I'd trusted Laura. I thought I knew her, thought I loved her. But she turned out to be something else entirely, something I'm still struggling to understand. My mind kept racing, replaying every moment, every smile, every lie. The hurt was so raw I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach 100 times. And I knew, deep down, this was just the beginning of a long, ugly fight. I got home earlier than usual that afternoon, adrenaline and anger buzzing through my veins. I wanted to catch her in the act if I could, but honestly, I was mostly just waiting to explode. I didn't even bother knocking. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The house was eerily quiet, the usual hum of her TV or her music absent. That silence made my stomach drop. There she was, sitting on the couch, scrolling her phone like nothing was wrong. She looked up at me the moment I walked in, that fake smiley face she always put on when she was hiding something. Her eyes darted to my face, then away, like she was trying to gauge how much I knew. I didn't say a word at first. Instead, I just stood there, staring at her, trying to keep my composure. "Hey," she said, her voice sweet but a little too high-pitched. "You're home early. What's up?" I clenched my fists. "Don't lie to me, Laura. I know everything." Her smile faltered just a little, but she quickly recovered. "What are you talking about? You're being paranoid." "I don't know what you saw, but no more lies." I cut her off. "I saw the messages, the ones you sent Mike, the ones where you tell him you miss him, that you want to see him, that you love screwing him. How long has this been going on?" "During our wedding, while I was standing right there." Her face went pale, but she quickly snapped back with her usual bitchy attitude. "Oh, please, that's bullshit. You're overreacting. You're jealous, that's all. Mike's just a buddy. We've always been just friends. You're imagining things." I shook my head, feeling the rage bubble up. "That's bullshit, and you know it. I saw the messages, Laura. I saw the way you talk to him. The way you flirt, the way you lie. I can't believe I married someone who'd do this, right under my nose. While I was trusting you, loving you, you're secretly screwing around with my best man." She scoffed, crossing her arms. "Oh, so now you're calling him your best man. Funny, because I remember him being a bit too close to you lately. Maybe you should take a look at your own behavior instead of accusing me of everything. You're just insecure, insecure." I interrupted, voice rising. "You're the one cheating, not me. I saw the messages, Laura. I know the truth. I don't know what kind of fucked up bitch you are, but I'm done. I want you to pack your things and get out of this house." Her eyes flashed with fury. She stood up, voice sharp. "You don't get to tell me what to do. You're overreacting because you're insecure. You're probably just mad I don't give you enough sex anymore. Maybe I should start screwing other guys, huh?" That was the last straw. I felt my stomach turn and all the anger I'd been holding in exploded. I told her she was a filthy liar, a cheating bitch, and that I never wanted to see her face again. As I spoke, I realized that this wasn't just about the betrayal. It was about trust, respect, and my own pride. She kept lying, kept spinning her bullshit, but I wasn't buying any of it. I had all the proof I needed, and I was done being a fool for someone who clearly didn't love me. I grabbed my bag, told her to get her shit, and left her sitting there, speechless and furious. That night I didn't sleep much. I kept replaying everything in my head, her sneering, her lies, the way she thought she could get away with it all. I felt betrayed, humiliated, and most of all broken. But at the same time, a part of me felt relief. I'd uncovered her secret, finally. And now I had the power to decide what comes next. All I knew was I wasn't going to let her ruin me. Not this way. Not after everything I'd given her. I had to figure out how to move forward, and honestly, I wasn't sure if I even wanted to save this marriage anymore. All I knew was I'd been played for a fool long enough. The next morning, I woke up feeling like I'd been hit by a truck. My head was pounding and my stomach was twisted in knots. I kept thinking about what she said. The lies, the sneers, that smug attitude she always had when she thought she was getting away with something. I couldn't believe I'd married a woman who was capable of cheating on me. At our wedding, no less. It was like some twisted nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I tried to piece together what to do next. Part of me wanted to go full scorched earth, call her out in front of everyone, tell her exactly what I knew, and make her regret every damn second of betraying me. But another part of me, the more rational part, wondered if I should just walk away quietly, spare myself the drama and let her go. Honestly, I was so hurt and angry that I didn't trust myself to make a clear decision right then. All I knew was I had to get some distance, clear my head. I decided to call my best friend Dave first. He was the only one I trusted enough to tell the truth. I told him everything, the messages, her reaction, how I felt. He was stunned, obviously, but he told me something I already knew deep down. I deserved better than a lying, cheating wife. That was the kick in the ass I needed. I realized I'd been so caught up in trying to keep the marriage alive, I'd ignored all the warning signs. I should have seen it coming. I should have known Laura was a bitch who'd screw me over as soon as she got the chance. After talking with Dave, I made a decision. I was going to confront her one more time, this time with all the proof I had. I was going to strip her of her lies, her manipulations, and make her admit everything in front of me. I wanted to see her broken, her confidence shattered, just like she'd shattered mine. If she thought she could keep fooling me, she was dead wrong. I was done being the fool. I spent the rest of the day planning how I'd do it. I was going to call her, tell her to meet me at the house, and then lay everything out. No more hiding, no more pretending I didn't know. I wanted her to own her actions, to feel the full weight of what she'd done. I didn't care if she tried to deny it. She'd been caught red-handed. The game was over. When she finally showed up in the evening, her face was smug, like she was expecting to manipulate her way out of it again. She tried to play innocent, acting like she didn't know what I was talking about. But I had the screenshots, the messages, everything. I laid it all out, piece by piece. Her face changed from smug to furious, then to panic. She kept lying, insisting she was innocent, that I was crazy, that Mike was just a friend. But I wasn't buying it anymore. I looked her in the eyes and told her I'd had enough of her bullshit. I told her I knew she'd cheated and I couldn't stay married to someone who lied to my face and played me like a fool. She looked at me with total contempt. "You're just jealous," she spat. "You're insecure. You don't know what you're talking about." That's when I snapped. I told her she was a selfish, manipulative bitch who'd been screwing around at my wedding and lying to my face. I told her she was a worthless piece of shit for betraying everything we had, for cheating with my best man. I said I was done, that I wanted her gone, and I meant it. I told her I'd file for divorce and make sure she paid for what she did. She stormed out, cursing and screaming, but I didn't care. I felt a strange mixture of relief and heartbreak. Part of me still loved her, but another part knew I couldn't stay with someone who'd cheat on me at the most important day of my life. I'd been humiliated, but I also felt free, free from her bullshit, from her lies, from her bitchy attitude. That night, I stayed up late, staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything. I realized I'd been a fool for so long, trusting someone who didn't deserve my trust. I learned that betrayal cuts deep, but it also forces you to reevaluate what you want and what you deserve. I knew I'd need time to heal, but I also knew I'd come out of this stronger. I'd been betrayed, yes, but I was still standing, and I'd never let someone do that to me again. The days that followed were a blur of legal calls, packing boxes, and a strange sense of numbness settling over me. I moved out of the house we shared, leaving behind memories that suddenly felt like scars. I kept replaying everything, the lies, the betrayal, her smug face when she thought she could get away with it. Honestly, it was like waking up from a nightmare I'd been living in for too long. The shock didn't really hit me until I was gone, and then it hit hard. No more pretending, no more excuses. The divorce process was messy but necessary. I had no intention of dragging it out. I just wanted her gone and for everything to be over. I wanted the pain to stop, at least a little. I realized I'd spent so much time trying to fix something that was already broken. She'd shown her true colors and I'd been too blind to see them. The worst part, the the sense that I'd been played not just by her, but also by my own gullibility. During this time, I kept hearing her call and text, trying to spin stories, apologize, or just be bitchy and dismissive. I didn't reply. I didn't want her drama anymore. Every time she tried to manipulate me, I remembered the messages, the lies, the way she thought she could just brush it off. I started to see her for what she was, a selfish, manipulative woman who'd do anything to get her way, even if it meant screwing over her own husband and her best friend. I also reached out to Mike, the guy I once trusted, and demanded the truth from him. Turns out they'd been sneaking around for months, long before the wedding. He admitted she'd been pushing him to cheat, saying she was bored and that she wanted excitement. That just made me feel sick, not just because she cheated, but because she was so damn selfish about it. She didn't care who she hurt, me, Mike, anyone. All she cared about was her own pleasure, her own lies. I won't lie, I felt angry, hurt, and betrayed all at once. But slowly, the anger began to outweigh the pain. I realized I deserved better than someone who'd treat me like a joke. I started focusing on myself, on healing, and on rebuilding my life without her. I knew I'd carry this betrayal with me for a long time, but I also knew it was a wake-up call. I'd been a fool for trusting someone so selfish, but I wasn't going to let her ruin me completely. Not anymore. I still think about that wedding day, about how I walked her down the aisle believing she loved me. And then I remember her laughing with Mike behind my back. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but it made me realize something. I can't change what happened. I can only control what I do. Next, I've learned that sometimes you have to lose everything to find out who you really are. I don't regret ending it even if it hurts, because this betrayal, this nightmare, forced me to finally see her for who she really was. And honestly, that's the start of my new life. Looking back now, I realize that the betrayal changed me more than I expected. At first, I was just furious, feeling humiliated and broken. But over time, I started to see it as a lesson. I learned that trusting blindly can get you hurt, and that sometimes the person you love the most is also the one capable of the deepest betrayal. It's a hard truth to face, but it's one I had to accept. The whole experience forced me to reevaluate what I want in life and in a partner. I see now how important honesty and respect are. I also learned that I don't need someone who manipulates and lies just to get what they want. I deserve someone who values me, who respects me, and who isn't capable of turning my world upside down with a single lie. I may have lost her, but I gained clarity. I gained a backbone. Now I focus on rebuilding my life, better, stronger, and more cautious than before. I still get angry sometimes, especially when I see couples happy and in love, and I wonder how I miss the signs. But I also know I can't change the past. All I can do is move forward, learn from it, and never let myself be blindsided again. To anyone out there going through something similar, here's my advice. Trust your instincts. Don't ignore the red flags, no matter how much you want things to work out. And if you find yourself betrayed, don't be afraid to walk away. It hurts, but staying will only make it worse. You deserve better. You deserve honesty and respect. And at the end of the day, the pain of betrayal is something you can survive and even grow from. I don't have all the answers, but I do know this. Life goes on. And sometimes it's only after losing everything that you finally see what really matters. My marriage was a lie, but I'm still standing, stronger than ever. And someday I'll find someone who truly deserves my trust. For now, I focus on healing and on never letting someone manipulate my life again.